Hey, Raquel.
Hi. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Natalia. Nice to see you.
Hey, Raquel.
Dina. How do you say your name? Bia or B? Hi, Robert. Good to see you. Casper. Oh, so good to see you, sir.
Hello, hello.
Nice. Hi, Nathan. And Lex, you could just let me know when
Yes,
I think this is a video, right?
yes, there is for your intro and for being one of the talented person in the room. So yeah, you're guys excited? So I'll go ahead and share my screen real quick. So let me know if you can hear as well. Let me check. So let me just play it real quick. Um,
Intentional
awesome. And you can hear the okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right.
alone, we become through action. We become the person the universe presents when obedience meets execution. Family, today you're about to hear from a woman who doesn't just inspire breakthroughs, she engineers them. Raquel Soto is a TV host, music producer, Christ centered mindset strategist, author, and speaker known as an authority amplifier, an identity architect. She helps faith driven entrepreneurs anchor into who God created them to be and then show up boldly, confidently, and unapologetically called. Through her TV show, One Breakthrough Now, the launch of a breakthrough radio custom anthems and collaborative anthologies, she turns messages into movement and stories into legacy. Today, she's pulling back the curtain on why your brain resists execution and how to finally flip the switch using Task Animal 3.0. Family, get ready to move from knowing to doing. Help me welcome Raquel Soto.
All right. Okay, so if you have
I was like,
questions, guys, feel free to drop it here. So I'll be informing you, Raquel. All right, thank you.
awesome. Well, I was just like, wow, he made me sound fantastic. Hi, if you need to meet, my name is Raquel and I'm your GPS for success. So let's get started. One of the things that he doesn't know because he had recorded this before God put this on my bingo card is that I'm also launching a radio station called Breakthrough Radio. And the reason I decided, well, I didn't decide. God has been telling me for a little bit, do Task Animal, put it into GPT to be people's coach 24/7 with all the things that I do because I get asked that so many times. How do you do everything that you do? And so there's a lot of things we're going to go through today. Please feel free to interrupt. Go ahead and put any questions you have in the chat. We have Lex here to help me as well. But I would love to know in the chat already. I know this is very popular, especially since this is being recorded in January. For those of you who are watching a replay, do you have or do you participate in having a word of the year of what you want to kind of focus on? You can put zero if no, one if yes. And if you want to be brave, you can go ahead and I encourage you to be brave to say what that word is in the chat so that way we can also I can help unpack some of that as well. Let me open up the chat so I can look. Oh, your word is love, not yet. Nathan says. Natalia says action. Catherine says spiritual breakthrough. Robert's like, no, not yet. And that's okay. Sometimes we don't have that one word. And it was funny because one of the things that people like to do is like, I have this word, like consistency you know well, that's a direction, and your brain doesn't understand that because if you're already, let's say you're like, well, I want to be more consistent in I don't know, drinking more water. Well, now you're drinking none, and if you start drinking an extra cup, there you go, now you're more consistent than you were last week. So your brain wants to have both things of having, yes, a word because that's the direction, but it also needs a little bit of prompting. And that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot today. You need to have the understanding of your inner AI so that way, when you're working with your external AI, right, now you have this beautiful partnership happening because this is happening anyway. You're doing this already by default. You're beautifully and wonderfully made, and nothing has gone wrong. You're like, what? There's a lot of things that have gone wrong, sis. A lot of stuff that's actually happening. Nothing has gone wrong. It is just the way you're beautifully designed and wired to succeed. And so I'm going to be giving you some understanding around that concept. And that way we can go ahead and then really utilize the tools that I'm going to share with you toward the end. So I have some notes that I want to say because I'm a hyper creative, and if anybody else is a hyper creative, you can put one in the chat where you get one idea, somebody says something, and then it's like, oh, 5 different tabs opened up. I can talk about this and this and this. So to keep, thank you. We're all in the right room. We tend to find each other. So to kind of keep me within time and also be everything succinct so I can give you everything. I will be doing an extended class in the membership. So come into the membership. It is so, I love the fact that he made it at a price point anybody can afford. And I will be doing that either at the end of January or the beginning of February. And it'll be an extension of this where I can give you more time and we can do like some real group coaching around these concepts. But the first thing I wanted to share with you is that your brain is not resisting the task. It's resisting the threat. And there's a lot of like language around it, right? The fastest way out of the threat is safety play. Play is so important. I'll tell you about that why later on. And partnership, which is going to be the partnership that you have actually with your own brain and then having it with AI. I wanted to share in the beginning also that I put ever notice that the more important something is, the harder sometimes it is to start it. And if I'm going too fast, come and get the replay because then you can slow me down. So this is not about procrastination or discipline, it's or even some protection because your brain is asking a question, is it safe or overwhelming? Now let's define safe. A lot of times people you'll hear this rhetoric, right? Have put one in the chat if you've heard this. Your brain is just trying to keep you safe. If you've heard that, yeah, that's not true. People like to say things, and your brain is not actually trying to keep you safe. It is keeping you within the realms of your own belief system, your own internal story, your own prompt. That's what it considers safe. So when people say, oh, yeah, they say it, but again, not bringing understanding. And it's really important for me to bring understanding to you because in the best-selling book in the world, when it talks about manifestation in the seeds, the first thing that gets snatched from you is understanding. And if you don't have understanding, it doesn't matter what I'm saying to you. If you don't have understanding, you're like, oh, I think I got it. I know she's trying to say something, but I'm not getting all of it. And so I purposely break things down so that you can understand, so that you can go to the next step of manifestation, which is to take the seed that I'm giving you and then plant it, which means now go do something with it. Go play with it. Go and, create your own sandbox around it. And then the third step of manifestation, when we look at the parables of the seeds, is that, the second step is that, yeah, the heat will come because it's coming after this word, it's coming after the answer to your prayer. So you'll get some success. And you'll see things even when you're using Task Animal in the GPT, it's going to give you quick wins on purpose because it helps your brain is your medicine man or your or your drug dealer, and it's going to give you those quick wins so you can have that dopamine so that you're like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, and put you back into momentum. And that's really what we want to build is momentum, a little bit at a time. It is built on my 1% model, which means 1% or less of your day. So the things within the GPT is purposely made. Like I'm going to show you what I did today to help me, and I'll talk about a story of how it helped me as well, where it's is you get to tell it like what are you doing or where you're stuck, and it starts to emotionally regulate you. And you're going to understand why the emotional regulation part is so important before it helps you with the task. Because what happens is that then you go into dysregulation. Now you're in chemical chaos because, again, your brain is your medicine man or your drug dealer. And when you're in a high emotional state, when you're in stress, all kinds of things happen. And one of the first things that happens is that you have all these chemicals coming into your prefrontal cortex and it drops your IQ 15 points. What does that mean? It means now you're in a diminished capacity for thinking, and thinking is your gift. No one thinks like you. When they actually map out how your thoughts process, it goes through seven pillars of thinking. and everybody's pattern is unique. It's just like your fingerprint. So your gift is in the thinking. But when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're worried, anxiety, any of these things, what happens then is that now you can't see the answer before you. So it's not going to matter what kind of prompts you put into your AI because your inner AI doesn't have the right prompts. And then you'll get frustrated and be like, it doesn't work. It's a piece of crap. It never gives me the things I needed. I needed to say, no, it's working exactly the way your brain is working. It's mirroring your brain. And so when you learn how to create your prompts, then it's going to be a lot easier, right? So is it looking for safety? No, it's looking for what do you believe? And if it's overwhelming, I mean, think about it, right? This is your internal AI. It's keeping you within your belief system. It's keeping you alive. It's scanning everything. It checks in with the voice of your mind, your mindset every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, your inner AI is saying, what are we doing? What are we thinking? Who do you think you are? Which direction are we going? Oh, this way, let's go scan. And then it uses your reticular activating system, which is your eyes, to try to make it happen. So depending on, right, are you going to overwhelm me? It doesn't want to do it. Your brain is like, okay, I'm doing all these things, and now you want me to use quantum energy, more quantum energy to create a new habit, a new groove, some new stuff. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let me offer you some other thoughts. And this is where your will comes in because you get to boss your brain and you get to boss your inner AI. The second thing I wanted to say before I start showing you the GBT is that the brain's learning, there is a shortcut to it. There's no fixed number of repetitions required to the brain. I had seen this thing that came up in my reel, and it said, "Did you know it takes 400 repetitions in order for you to develop the neural pathways for a new habit? Or you can do it in like 15 to 20 if you do it this way." There are no actual stats to that. That's actually not true. So I was like, wait, oh, that sounds good. Wait, before I repeat it, let me go find if there's actually any studies around the repetition part. But this is what's actually true. A stressed brain learns slowly. Have you ever said, oh, I can't learn that? That's too hard. One in the chat, or maybe you're zero. I know people who are maybe older and they're like, I don't like tech. Have you ever said, I can't learn tech? I can't learn this other thing. This is too hard. We've all been there. You should all be putting one in the chat. We've all been, and it's like, that's too hard to learn. But it's too hard to learn because you're stressed over it. The truth is, a playful, regulated brain, it learns fast, which is why people love AI, right? They get to be playful again. They get to be like children again. They get to have like fast things happening again. And that's why people love the external AI. But when you get playful with your internal AI as well, now you're going to actually create like this super couple between you and the external AI, this super team, because you're being playful with yourself, because you're starting to prompt those things for yourself, understanding that you're giving your brain the prompts. So if you guys were in the session with Dr. Reed, he has said something, you must embody the change before internally before you'll see it externally. And we hear that all the time. It is an inside out work. So if you're trying to, what is that, regulate and release your agency to an AI without doing the work simultaneously, you will get frustrated with the outputs that you get from the external AI. You're going to get garbage, or you're going to get good information, and when you implement it, it's going to fall flat because you have not seasoned it with you. And that's the thing with the AI. When you season the AI with you, with your personality, with your vision, your syntax, it learns, but it has to learn you. And how are you going to do that if you don't know enough about yourself? Emotion determines the speed of neuroplasticity. What is that? That is the brain's ability to rewire itself. So when you say you're stuck, that's a prompt. I am stuck. Your brain says, I call mine Ronnie, short for Veronica, which means true image. So I'll tell Ronnie, I'm stuck. And Ronnie says, yep, Let me tell you all the ways why you're gonna stay stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you're feeling imposter syndrome, I can't do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me show you all the reasons why you can't do this. It's just helping. You gave it the prompt, I can't. And so your brain says, agreed, here you go. But when you give it a different prompt, I'm feeling stuck, acknowledge, but I know that there are a lot of different ways to do that, to do this thing. How many, I wonder how many different ways I can accomplish this. There has to be at least 10 different ways. What did you do? You interrupted that internal narrative, and now you gave it a new prompt. It's not looking for your imposter syndrome. It's not looking for your worry, anxiety, fear. It's like, oh, wait, you just gave me a very specific assignment. You want to know 10 different ways you can do this? Okay. And it'll start giving it to you because you changed the prompt, you changed the narrative. And sometimes the prompts don't work externally because we're not giving it the right information. But this is where you get to practice. You get to change your DMN in your brain. It's your default mode network. Think of it like your default, right? Your set point. And so everyone has a set point. This is why when people say, if you really wanted to, you would. That's not how your brain works. The belief system you have, your identity, that's how it works. Change who you think you are at the core, and the will takes care of itself. You are not made and created to live in a will state. 95% of your actions are automatic, but they're based on the 80% of thoughts you had the previous day. There was a quote that's coming out. Cindy Trim said, what if everything is the way it is because of the way you are? Ouch, right? But what if there was one thing that you can change today that would change everything? And that's the life part. And the life part is like, what is the one thought that I can play in that I start to embody? Because again, you are on your own Groundhog Day. So if you don't like what's happening externally, God has given you the agency to change your reality, to rewire it by rewiring your brain. And so we're going to continue on with that because the more playful you are, the faster you'll learn. It's like the saying, the more fun you have, the more money you make. Like one in the chat, who would like, right? Who wouldn't like to make more money? Who wouldn't like to be in more alignment? Who wouldn't like to have more opportunities? It's really about your internal. When you're having fun, when you're in this emotionally regulated state of peace, allowing peace to be your umpire, then everything else kind of falls into place. I don't want you to think about that you're forcing any habits because this is not about forcing a habit. It's about changing the state that you're practicing them in. That's why external AI is so fun because it helps you to change your state. You feel creative and you start like, oh, even people who think they're not creative, yes, you are. And you find that play with the AI, which is why people are so addicted to them. They're like, oh, I love them. And let me show you some really cool stuff. This is why most productivity systems fail, right? They assume a neutral emotion, an endless mental bandwidth. I do too many things. And then I have to go and take a nap, a snack and a nap. Or I gotta go take a walk. Or I want to go binge, something on Netflix for a little while and just recharge. I don't have endless amounts of bandwidth. But most people are carrying pressure. If you've ever been carrying pressure in 2025, put a one in the chat. Carrying identity expectations. If I was really like this, I should be doing this. If I really wanted it, I should be doing this. If I wanted it as bad as I said I did, I should be doing this. And now you're shooting all over yourself because we have these expectations of ourselves that are just not reasonable. Carrying guilt as a single mom, parents, or even like caregivers, or whatever. Sometimes we end up carrying guilt. And a lot of times people who are the salt of the earth, when we're always taking care of other people, it's very easy for us to fall into the trap of carrying guilt. Hi, Atlantis Wolf. Nice to see you, babe. So you can't build new habits in that threat state, in that state of overwhelm. So that's like, oh, you start working out and it's really good in January, and then this is about the time people start falling off because they started and they're keeping it at a stressed state instead of leveraging their inner AI and their external one. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was this is the missing piece. Your brain has to feel orientated, safe, and in control. And again, the real definition of safety is like, what do you believe? Change your beliefs and everything changes. But it also likes to be in control. So all of us are control freaks. And if you're in entrepreneurship, there is a big part of that in you. It's like, yes, I get to be a control freak. There's nothing wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. So without it, it's going to freeze, it's going to avoid, and it will distract you. It's like, I'm so easily distracted because you keep on telling yourself you're so easily distracted. And so your brain wants to keep you what? Right. So everybody's like, oh, I want to live my truth. Everybody lives their truth. Their truth. Their truth could be a complete lie. I'm stuck. No, you're not. Your brain has the answer. I'm lazy. No, you're not. I'm a procrastinator. Actually, no, you're not. You do a lot of things well without procrastinating, so you're not a procrastinator. But you've labeled yourself that. And those labels are telling a story. And now your brain is keeping you safe by keeping you contained within your own story. Change your story, change the prompt, and everything else dominoes. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to distract you then because you're saying that you really don't want to do it. Let's make you right. Ooh, squirrel. Let's go shopping. Ooh, squirrel. That looks pretty good. Oh, squirrel. Let me go and create something else. Let me go do something else. And then you feel that guilt coming up, that stress coming up, like, oh crap, I should have done that. Your brain is just keeping you right. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing. So the first, we're going to do a 3-minute reset or less because I don't have that much time. And what I want you to think about is that name the overwhelm. And I encourage you to be free. Oh, thanks. 10 minutes. Good. You're free here is a safe space. There's no guilt. There's no shame. This is just data. Name the overwhelm without fixing it. Where are you feeling overwhelmed? Because while we have time together, we might be able to go over that with you. Because that's just your brain thinking this is too much. That's it. It's just data. It's just a story. We end up shrinking, right? We have to shrink things. So we end up choosing the smallest possible action. I'm going to show you how this works in task animal. And then one step that creates the safety. We end up re-anchoring, which is identity and reassurance, right? Because you can move 1%. I thought that I was so clever when my brain gave me the idea about the 1% model, and it turns out that it's very akin to what Ziegler talks about, being 1% better every single day, because it's that compound effect. And so when one of my clients like, oh yeah, I teach on this, blah, blah, I'm like, and I was like, Ronnie, you didn't come up with that. See, nothing's new under the sun. I thought I was so clever. I thought Ronnie was so clever. She must have heard it somewhere, just figured it out. Because I said, how can I help people have these quick wins so that they can have momentum and stay in momentum so they can achieve the things that they wanted to achieve? It's like, oh, 1%. 1% of your day is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. For those of you like, how long is that? 14 minutes and 40 seconds. But when you're in the chat, you're going to see that you regulate in less than that, 3 minutes. 3 minutes when you use it. Regulation, again, it opens learning. The small wins are going to rebuild trust. Some people don't trust themselves. I can't trust my intuition. I can't trust the ideas I'm having. I can't trust the next step is going to be the right one. But when you practice this 1% model, and you're seeing the wins every single day, and you're seeing the momentum, you learn to trust organically. It's just an organic byproduct. Okay. I don't want you to push harder because that adds pressure and that creates more thinking. And then you go into a spiral and you go into stinking thinking, or like you start procrastinating and you're like, I gotta think about this for the next 6 months. I know somebody who he would think about something for 6 months before you bought it and it only cost $25. I'm like, dude, it's $25. Just buy it. Like, why are you waiting 6 months before you buy something that's $25? So I want to show you how I used it and share. Wait. I want to. Okay. Application windows says this. There. Here. Okay. Where'd it go? I was already in this conversation. You're going to get access for being here today. I know some of you, most of you personally. But this morning, I was like, I want to create flow for the day. I told it all the things I wanted to do. And the first thing it says, I see what you're trying to do here. You're not asking for a packed schedule. You're asking for flow, not force, and that matters. Before we shape the day, I need you to understand where the internal drag is. So this is actually going to continue to get updated every week. So I already have Task Animal in there, the original program. Then I have the workbook in there to help you. And then every week from my TV show, more is being added. And so from the second episode, we're talking about this internal drag. And maybe you felt that before, having like things are just like internally dragging you. And so that's going to be head on there. So it says, okay, you listed spiritual, creative, administrative, and technical tasks all in one day. And then it starts asking me some questions like, where is the resistance? Where do I feel heaviest? You know, what's really important to me? What's going to give me life? And so I answer those questions. It's like, okay, now it's going to put things in categories for me. So what is it doing? It's allowing me to see what's going on and then to start emotionally regulating around all the things that I need to get done, that I feel like I need to get done today. And that way I don't get scattered. It's very easy for me then to get scattered or overwhelmed because there's so many things on my plate. And now adding the radio show, I was like, okay, I really need to start using the tools that I give to my clients or myself. So it helped me to settle the decisions, right? I can put the website work, I can table it. It's not a failure, it's a boundary. Doing my creative calling first because that's a priority and it gives me a lot of life. And then it starts giving me some more information. It's like, okay, what do I want to do? I said, well, I finished the prep. My Bible study's been done. It's like, okay, good. You didn't just do things, you completed 2 anchors. So that's what, and then it tells me what is happening in my body. Again, going back to understanding, if you don't know what's happening in your body, what's happening in your brain, then you don't know how then to duplicate it. You don't know why it's working. So it's really important for you to understanding so that, you know, in the good book, in the last phase of manifestation, the world is so cute. They're like, oh, 10 times, you know, you can be 10 times more. And like kingdom is 30 times. It starts at 30, 60, and 60, and then 100-fold, right? Which is 100 times more. So this is to get you to acceleration. So this particular season of the TV show is called Divine Acceleration. And that information, that study is being put into Task Animal as the TV shows are released.
Hey, Raquel, we're gonna
Uh-huh.
be heading back in a minute, so I
Oh, a
sent you
minute.
a message. Yes.
Oh, it says 3 minutes up here. That's wrong. Okay. Then let me give you, this is this is a free, let me stop here. All right, sorry, the clock up there was wrong. Um, all right. So this is Sloan. If you want to take your story, right? Things that happen every single day, and you're like, what is that? You're not sure how to spin the story. This will give you 4 different angles. It's spectacular. If you need an AI to help you with your videos, I really recommend Descript. So I have a thing for that. Oops, where is it? Or is the other one I wanted to share with you? Yeah, those are the two. And then you'll be getting Task Animal. And because the timer was not right when I was looking at it, I can't go to the rest of it. I can't go to the rest of it. But Task Animal will help you to do all the things. Emotionally regulate, manage your day, read your personality gift cluster through your own language, help you to go into flow and stay in flow without overwhelm. That happened to me the other day. And when I was using it, it literally like helped me to emotionally regulate and release things within 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So it's not even taking 1% of your day. So if you're ready to compound and go into a divine acceleration, thank you for being here with me today. Because as you use Task Animal, you're going to see how everything just starts to flow organically and speedily. I don't know. Well, now it does. So is it 122?
Yeah, we just
Thanks.
have one attendee, so just join us right now. So feel free to add like 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Let me see what else was in this thing here. Um, okay. So everything in here, let me show you what it did for me. Share. All right. So here, it was then giving me, right? It's using both things. It's using your whole body, allowing you again to emotionally regulate, seeing why or where you're stuck, being able to pull you out of that state quickly. And then it's like, okay, these are the next things. And then it gave me direction, right? Spend up to 15 minutes doing one small concrete thing. And then it gives me some suggestions based on what I already told it. So this is going to be amazing for you because again, it's about divine acceleration. I want you to be able to do all the things you want to do more in less time, get your life back, go play outside, go touch the grass, go have a coffee with a friend, and let your inner and outer AI do what it's meant to do. Oh, yeah, you're excited about Task Animal. Yay. Thanks, guys.